Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome back to the Daily Southampton, part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. My name is Greg Elliott, and as always, joined today by my good friend and wonderful co-host, Zach Ingo Finch. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I can't complain. Pretty happy to be here. Pretty happy to chat more about football. It's like a couple of days away now, so
it's
happy
getting
days.
real close, and it's crunch day, mate. It's where we put our pride on the line and put our knowledge out there for criticism and predict the league. So
Our knowledge being vibes, right?
100%. Yeah, right. Look, let's get this off with the caveat that we are two blokes who talk a lot about football, mostly about Southampton, but that's it. We enjoy the game. We are not experts and have never claimed to be.
If it comes back and they're like, these lads know nothing in like 6 months, yeah, not really. I like talking about Southampton. I think I know some stuff. I spend a lot of time doing research, but realistically, I'm only human. I get stuff wrong. I don't think we've ever claimed to be experts.
100%. And look, I love playing and watching football, and I go to the games every week. And I like to think I've got, through the years, a bit of experience analysing football. You have played thousands of hours of Football Manager and watched thousands of hours of football. Maybe that leads to knowing something, but look, we're not saying we're experts, right? Let's get that out of the way to start with. All right, I think knowing whereabouts in the table I have put Saints, I think we should go in reverse order and start with the relegation places and work our way up.
Interesting. Let's go with that.
So, who have you got at the bottom, mate?
In 24th, I have Sheffield Wednesday. And I know, according to... So one of the things I did after I wrote my prediction to make sure it didn't cloud it any way was look at the Opta Championship supercomputer. Have you had a look at their predictions, Greg?
No, I haven't. I would have been some interesting... I feel like that would have unreasonably skewed my predictions.
Yeah, that's why you're going to tell from this prediction how different it is to the Opta run one, right? Because Sheffield Wednesday on the Opta supercomputer is 14th, which is baffling, personally. I think considering...
But Opta's purely based off of stats, right? And I think that I've also put Sheffield Wednesday bottom. I think that the reasoning that we've both got might be slightly less to do with stats and slightly more to do with the fact that the way that this summer has gone, that they might be lucky to still be a football club come the end of the season.
I have 3 notes for this, Greg. They say owner, turmoil, and then the last one is just everything. that is why. It's no disrespect to them. Shea Charles had a good season there last time around. Danny Rowe was a good manager there. The problem is that when you're fielding the 13 outfield players, for me, it's going the way of Bolton, and they'll probably just be in League One next year. And it's sad because it's not through any fault of their own, right? And Championship have been treated to the fact that you've had the Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday derby, and then you're going to have it again this year, as well as the South Coast derby, as well as Ipswich and Norwich again. There's lots and lots of fun in the Championship, and so it'll be sad. It was sad to see him go, but ultimately, just the absolute state of the non-footballing side of that club has led to a footballing decline. If they stay up, happy days. If they some sort of miracle do right, fair play to them. But you're right. How close are they to not being able to actually field a team, especially if their players go on strike? So that is my pick for 24th, mate.
Yeah, same. I have picked exactly the same for the same reasons. It's getting real close to the league, and they've still only got 13 senior players to field. So, oh boy, howdy. Okay, 23rd. Where are you going?
See, surprisingly for some people, I've put Hull City. They barely scraped by last time. Sellis has gone. Obviously, Charlton Athletic are close to this, but I think that like they have the Nathan Jones scrappy element, whereas Hull I just kind of see might be luck has to run out eventually, right? And I think that them getting rid of Liam Lassigna a couple of years ago in the way that they did is where I has sealed their fate, and maybe they need to go down to learn the lesson to come back up. It's pretty again. This is vibes based, but that's kind of where I felt like when I started putting everything in order. It's just where they landed. So for you,
I've put Oxford United.
Interesting.
Yeah, look, they stayed up last season, but that was almost a shock, right? They're likely to be down and around it.
Yeah,
based off the preview I did yesterday, that's just vibes. That was just my gut feeling. 23rd, Oxford. 22nd, mate. Well, wrapping up the relegation places. Who you gone for?
Charlton Athletic, because I just think they're going to massively struggle. I think that they're not going to come bottom. I think that Nathan Jones will get some performances out of them. They might completely surprise me in this prediction or be completely null and void and stay up, but I just can't see them being able to. And yeah, I just think they're going to have a bit of a struggle coming up.
Yeah, I've also put Charlton in 22nd for the same sort of reason. Yeah, look, they've come up through the playoffs, which means that they weren't as good as the other two teams that have come up and are going to struggle. The other two teams have invested massively and in an effort to not be down and around that dogfight, and I just think they're going to struggle. But you're right. I think with the chaos Wednesday and the poor form of Oxford, I think they'll do just enough to not be bottom. But I think it's going to be a tough season for them. 21st, who you gone with, mate?
I've gone with Derby County because they also sort of stuck, sort of floating around there, just about kind of stayed up. I think they'll be around in that direction. I just think that they'll struggle. But where I'm at is that they're one of the strugglers that will float around the bottom. But they just aren't as bad to me as the bottom three. So,
yeah, I've gone with Hull. So look, we're on similar wavelengths.
We have not talked about this at all today. You about an hour ago went, I better do my championship predictions, whereas I had this already by that point made a spreadsheet and everything. So
yeah, mate, look, I put Hull for very similar reasons as you. They narrowly escaped last year. I think that it's going to be pretty close this year. They're going to be trying to improve, but it's a lot to ask. There are, transfer embargoes and all sorts of chaos. And then my 20th place, just to cap off the not talking to each other but coming out with similar results, I've put Derby County. So,
and that's where I thought Oxford United.
So that's interesting. We've gone with the same bottom five, but in slightly different orders, which
that's nuts. Good.
Well, look, that either means that that's a really logical conclusion to draw based off the results, or we both don't know anything, and they'll be the playoffs, right?
Probably that. But what I think is interesting is between the two of us, neither of us put Pompey in that bottom five.
Indeed, right. Yeah. Well, look, that seems like a very sensible place to take our first break and hear a word from our partners at Bionique.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionique, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionique provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionique. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now. Your body.
Okay, and we are back. Okay, Zach, carrying on. 19th place. I've put Blackburn Rovers, so still not Pompey.
Interesting. So this is where I put Pompey.
Yeah.
And I don't really have much of an explanation. My notes are, yeah. And I think the yeah was in reference to the fact that they aren't in the bottom five. Can't entirely remember. Despite the fact that I only did this about 2 hours ago. That's why. So I don't know. I just feel like they're going to manage to stay up. I don't think they're going to do anything special. I don't think it's going to be massively mid-table. I think their entire season is going to be dedicated to trying to beat us, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I've put Blackburn, and if I'm honest, I didn't write reasonings. I've just gone off vibes. I've just put numbers and teams. I did all of the research yesterday, and this is just what my brain spat out. But in 18th, I have put Pompey for similar reasons. Right, they're going to push on, and
Good.
probably get relegated, but also they're not going to be good. So,
well, my 18th fate is Stoke City, and my notes for that are just Stoke. So they're not like a solid championship team really at this point. They're not going to do anything I think majorly special. I also don't think they're going to go down. They could have probably slotted in anywhere from 18th to 8th realistically.
last
But
year, or when we played them before the year before last, I thought that they have an unreasonable rep for being this boring football team that were from way back in the day when it was old school and they tried to make it uncomfortable. And then what happened was I sat through probably the most boring game of football I've ever seen, and yeah, that's you're right. Stoke, innit?
Stoke.
What about 17th? Who have you put?
Swansea, because they are getting investment now, so they aren't going to be as struggling as bad as they have been. However, that investment needs time, right? Like Birmingham had investment when they went down last time round. I think that they'll be all right, but I think that investment needs time to kind of pay off, and I think that they'll probably do a bit better later. But again, we're in those weird mid-table areas where it could literally be 3 points in between all the different teams.
Yeah,
That's kind of where I'm at.
in that ilk, I've put QPR, who I think are doomed to this lower mid-table limbo.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you're right. For the next probably 5-6 teams, I think we're probably in a similar ilk where we're going to have put the same teams in different orders for the same reasons. It's interesting that there's this sort of divide, certainly in my brain, of definite playoff contenders, definite mid-table limbo, and definite sort of relegation battles. And I'm sure that there'll be one or two surprises as the season progresses, but I feel like they're not. I don't think they're unreasonable groupings as we kick off for sure. 16th, I've put Preston.
Interesting.
Same, just that mid-table ilk in it.
Yeah, there you go. I said I've got Preston in 14th, but my 16th is Bristol City because I said that, they managed to make playoffs last year. No one expected that of them. They lost Manning to Norwich, and they're not as bad as the rest, but I don't think that they'll be able to replicate what they did last season.
Bristol I've put in 15th. Just to wrap off putting the same teams in the same places. Stoke I've put in 14th. So
my 15th is QPR because they lost their manager. We could still do okay. And my 14th is Preston because, again, underestimated and lots of championship experience. So this is upsetting. Thought we'd have different opinions, but we'll see what happens when we get near the top.
So far the same teams in slightly different orders, but like I say, we're in this grouping where that's likely to be the case. I've put Swansea.
Interesting.
Again, in table lingo. Where have you gone?
So my 13th is Middlesbrough because, again, underestimated but lots of championship experience. Don't think they're going to go down. Don't think they're going to do anything crazy. Lost their manager not too long ago, so
no, that makes sense.
Mid-championship table, right? That's almost like the middle of the middle.
Interesting. Okay, 12th gets to the point where I've put my first one that I think might vary from some of your predictions.
Okay.
So let's start. Who have you put in 12th?
I've put Millwall because they're trying to push for promotion, but I think that there is going to be a tougher mid-table to promotion battle than they think is going to be. Right. So that's kind of why I put them there. I don't think they're going to be up and about it personally. I know that we've discussed that they're trying to push for that, but I don't see it.
I've put Wrexham.
Interesting.
Yeah, all right, look, I think that it's no secret that they're trying to solidify and push.
Yeah,
And sure, there's the pretty easy to write Disney Plus story of back to back to back to back promotions to get to the Premier League, but I
yeah,
just think
that's
that
not real, is it? Come on,
this
there's only
league
so
is where
much
it
you can do.
this league is where it gets real. This league is where it gets difficult, and I think that I think that that's as high as they get. I don't think they're going to struggle and be around relegation, but I don't think they're going to be pushing for playoffs.
We'll see.
So that's where I've put them.
I'll explain my potential counterpoint to that in a minute.
Okay, 11th. I've put Watford.
I have also put Watford. But the reason that I put Watford is because it's like trying to predict the weather. You have absolutely no idea because you could go off of a supercomputer. The supercomputer has them, by the way, in 23rd position. It has them relegated. It's nuts.
Interesting.
I'm wondering if that's because the thing is like they go through so many managers, and like you thought, oh, they actually had a solid manager for like a whole season, and then they sacked it in again. So it's one of those things where, like, I don't know, maybe they'll do all right. Realistically, if I wanted to be properly neutral, should have put them in 12th, but same as you, mate, 11th, apparently.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. And I guess one more before we head into our second break. 10th, I've put Middlesbrough. Again, down with this middle of the bunch pack, so pretty close to where you've put. Who have you gone for?
I've gone for Blackburn Rovers because you put them lower than I expect them to be. Again, they are also just a solid mid-table team, and apparently the supercomputer also puts them at 10th, which is just they are a championship team that I always feel like are underestimated, that always kind of do a slightly better than expected, but never quite as good as they wanted. I remember they had a rough season a few seasons back, but I think they've been relatively like mid. In fact, the words that I've written down, Greg, are solid mid-team.
Fair enough. Okay, right, that leads us nicely then before we get to the business end of the table from a message from our partners at Zencaster. Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform, and Zencaster came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description and learn more about Zencaster. Okay, right, mate, right up to the business end of the table. Like I say, we're getting to the juicy ones now. Some big names that some people, two promoted teams left for you to say, one left for me. So we're getting to the interesting stuff. 9th, I've put Norwich.
Interesting.
Just Norwich, innit? Like, I think the same reasoning you put Blackburn is that I think they'll be close to it, but not one of the names that are inspiring confidence for me this season.
Okay. My 9th is Birmingham City. So as a promoted side that have also had a lot of investment, that have learned a lot of lessons, I think that there are going to be two promoted teams that are going to have a really big bounce into the championship and manage to stay up there, right? Like we all thought Pompey were going to go up last year and immediately go back down. They came up and actually put a bit of a game in. Same with Oxford United, and stayed. Yeah, okay, lower down the table, but they also haven't had the level of investment that both Birmingham and Wrexham have had. So Birmingham are my 9th.
Interesting. 8th, I've put West Brom, which might be higher than some people think. I don't know. Maybe there's some bias there, but 8th feels right.
What did you have as your 9th again? Did I miss that entirely? Did I phase out of reality? Norwich.
Yeah,
Okay,
Norwich
for 9th. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fair. I'm surprised that I think the Baggies do better than you, but I guess that's that. 8th is where I've put Wrexham. So again, like you talk about the fact that they're newly promoted, and yes, they've got lessons to learn, but you start to look at sort of the amount of not just the money they're spending, with the players they're bringing in, the quality, and like it's one of those things where it could be a roll of the dice. If all of those players click, they've got a really solid championship team. If they don't click and they don't quite, it will be a big thing for I think their manager, right? Like it'll be a very big test to see how they do. The supercomputer, by the way, has them in 21st, just about staying up. So,
Ooh, interesting.
And interestingly enough, for that as well, it has Charlton Athletic in 22nd. So we all picked Charlton Athletic in 22nd. But yeah, just that I think that if their new team clicks properly, I think they'll do really well. I think they'll definitely miss out on playoffs. I don't think that that's in the cards. It'll be interesting to see what their fans will see as a success. I imagine the long-term fans will think, "Oh my god, championship football! This is incredible." I think the newer fans, the sort of American supported have appeared out of nowhere that have only known success, will be a bit surprised by how tough the championship is. So yeah, that's my 8th.
Interesting. Okay, in 7th, I've put Millwall. They seem to be trying to mount a push for those playoff spots this season, but I think they're just going to narrowly miss out. Yeah. That's just the vibe I've got. What about you?
So my 7th is Norwich City. So I think Norwich City, you've got to take into account that Ipswich is back. They'll have a little derby again. They're probably going to try and beat them because they've come down from the Premier League, so they put a lot into that. They brought in Liam Manning, who ran Bristol City's promotion charge last season, where they got to the playoffs. As you pointed out, there was quite a bit of a gap, but it's one of those things where they brought him in probably to get them to that position. And I think they will, just get to there, almost there, and miss out on the last hurdle.
Interesting. Okay, so we are into the playoff positions, and if I've done my mental maths right, I think we've got 5 of the 6 teams the same.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
So hit me up, Zach. Who you got in 6th place, just narrowly making the playoffs?
Yeah, I think in 6th place, I've got Leicester because I think they'll narrowly manage the playoffs. Just because even with points deduction and stuff, they're still a good squad. They're still a good team. I don't think they're going to walk it if you've had that level of if you've had that sort of turmoil, right? Especially financial turmoil is always a bit.
All great and interesting points in 6th, Zach. I have also put Leicester.
Nice.
Oh, this is really, really interesting. 5th, who have you got?
So that's where I had the Baggies, because they always manage to make the playoffs soon. I said Baggies will go again, so close yet so far, was my notes for that, because they always manage to make the playoffs usually, and just kind of fall a bit flat.
That's geographically very close to my pick. I picked Birmingham in 5th to make the playoffs.
Matt, so you think newly promoted team?
Yeah, I just think they're just going to push on. Look, they have invested, and this is the wild card pick that could cost me dearly when it comes down to the scores at the end of the day. But I don't know. It's just the vibe I've got.
Okay. 4.
Still neither of us back in Saints for this low in the table. This is great news, right? 4th, who have you got?
Coventry City.
Yeah, went close last year. Thereabouts.
We want to grow and at least hit last year's heights, is what I've said. And I think they might do all right and then make it to the playoffs. Who knows if they get promoted? But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, in 4th place, I have also put Coventry City,
which means
that we are at least agreed on the top 3. Whether our order is the same or not, I don't know. But
right then, mate. This is where it's getting important.
Wrap up the playoffs places for us, then, mate. Who have you got finishing 3rd?
I've got Sheffield United because I think they're a dark horse. They're still strong and will be mad after last year. But the Opta supercomputer, mate, has them winning the championship. It also has them having a 41% chance to be promoted in comparison to the rest of us that are 15, 16. If you want to know where we sit on that list, it puts us in 5th, which I'm just
interesting. What do computers know?
Right? That's kind of also, again, the fact it seems to think that Sheffield Wednesday is going to stay that far up is mad to me. So hey ho. which means, Greg, are you also in the same boat with Sheffield United third?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, good. Yeah, I thought when you started laughing, that was why.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly who I've put in third, which means that we've got the same top two teams. Before we move on to the big reveal, Zach, out of those four playoff teams, who you put in as going up?
I think Sheffield United. No, because they never win at Wembley. Then maybe Coventry. Let's go with Coventry.
I was going to say either Leicester or Coventry, but that would make 11 times in the playoffs for Sheffield United without promotion would be, I mean, what a stat, right?
Oh, it's awful. I think you got to break a streak at some point, right? We did that last year. It was every negative streak we've ever had, but we still did it.
Okay, right. Zach, two teams left, Saints and Ipswich. Who's winning the league for you?
Southampton's winning the league. And that's pure optimism, mate. Now, have we switched roles and you've said Ipswich?
Of course not, mate. 46 games to win them all. Of course I put us top. There's nowhere else I could have put us.
My note, mate, is just optimism. Vibes.
Yeah. Look, it's going to happen.
The only reason that I put Ipswich below us, mate, in actuality, call it insanity, call it what you want. It's just I put lost the lap. Feel like that's going to hurt him. He scored a lot of their goals last season. We didn't score enough goals for it to be a problem if we lost anyone. So
look, yeah,
the only way is up, baby.
That's it. Look, it's got to be these. We've got to start these optimistic levels high, and you can watch them slowly drain as the season goes on. Probably, but
last season with you, mate. 11th is where you predicted Southampton to finish in the Premier League. We got 11 points.
Yeah,
initially,
madness
for a long time.
Absolute madness. Okay, well that's it. You heard it here first. Saints winning the league. Look, I can't wait to come back at the end of the season and react to how we did with these predictions because
it's gonna be awful. It's gonna be so wrong. It's gonna be like Wrexham, Birmingham, Charlton getting relegated. It's gonna be like somehow like teams that we put Stoke in 18th because Stoke and they're gonna end up 4th.
Hull will kick on and get that playoff place. Like, yeah,
we'll be.
But that's why we love the Championship, mate. That unpredictability. We've given it our best shot. That's it. Let us know. What do you think of our predictions? What are your predictions? Where are Saints finishing this season? We want to know your thoughts. Let us know on all of the socials. We are on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X, Instagram, Blue Sky. Let us know where we're finishing. What's the points total we're finishing on?
Greg, we're going to be back tomorrow. What are we going to be back tomorrow with?
We are going to be back tomorrow with some match preview of the first opening day of the season. Can you believe that it's that close? I'm so excited to get back to St Mary's. I think I'm literally bouncing, ready to go. Get it in the books. We look forward to seeing you then. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.